Hello, I think that we're on. Hi. It has been quite some time since I stopped by and leave a video. I believe that my last video may have been in Virgo, when the moon was in Virgo, the sun was in Virgo rather, and that was back in September. I think maybe October I came back on. Hi, how are you? Welcome to my channel. I am Soma. My name is Sofia Aquila, and I am here to leave leave some substance to the current lunar cycle with the intention of helping us navigate the astral experiences that will be part of our reality over the course of the lunar cycle, right? So I am here recording based on the lunar cycle, not necessarily the solar dates, right? So, however, I will be reporting on the solar dates and all things astrology as much as possible because it brings me so much joy to share this information with you. And I have really been amiss that I haven't been on. But as we all have been on Earth integrating these new experiences and this new energy and frequencies and integrating that so that we can function. And so it has been no different for me as it has been for the rest of humanity. The fact that we are working with astrological knowledge does not preempt us from having experiences which also require integration, right? Because it touches our lives so deeply because it's truly who we are. There's this reciprocal relationship between our human physiology and our neurobiology and the planet that we live on and the solar system in which we inhabit, right? And then beyond that comes the zodiacal wheel through which the sun and the moon travel, and the backdrop of stars and constellations through infinity. And so there's a lot to consider. There's a lot to talk about. We're living during a time where so much information is being unfolded and many people are receiving new pieces of the puzzle. And as we receive, we want to be able to be active, informing others. We all have our part to play. We all have our grain of sand to leave while we're on this earth, right? And so we want to do that. And I have been feeling the pressure of wanting to move forward, yet feeling internally restrained as a result of the integration process that needs to take place during a time of growth and transformation. And that's what we're all experiencing. And this lunar cycle leaves no stone unturned. It is such an amazing time. We have recently, as recently as yesterday, the moon's phase changed. And so that little bump that we were beginning to see in the sky now will continue to grow. We are on this wave and the wave is cresting, right? Because we're going towards the full moon. At this time, the moon is in the sign of Leo, and Leo, as we know, is very proud. It can be driven by the ego and by the need for applause and the need for accolades. But I think that what truly moves the Leo is the opportunity to be creative and to express the inner child and to operate from the level of the heart, which is not easy when we're under the pressure of being amongst others who perhaps don't support when we shine our light, right? Some people cringe, some people move away when we shine our light too brightly. And oftentimes that keeps us from really manifesting the greatest for ourselves, because we think that if we make ourselves small, then that makes other people feel comfortable, and that it's in the interest sometimes even of some religious idea that being humble and being small, which is not the same as being humble, equates to creating a more balanced experience with others, when in reality, it just really keeps us from growing, and it keeps us stagnant, and I think it serves us all well to shine our light as brightly as possible, because it's dark out here. And we all need to come out and shine our light really high and take it to the next level, so that we can all rise, so that we can illuminate the path for as many as possible. So that's where the moon is, and that's the realization that we're all coming to during these days, that we need to shine our light brighter. We need to be more creative. We need cultural creativity to redefine our lives right now, because so much is at stake, right? We're living in a world under siege. And if that isn't alarming enough, I don't know what is. And we see it every day. And it's very important that we all encourage one another to take it to the next level and the next level, because every time we reach for the next rung in the evolutionary ladder, we rise consciousness that much higher. And every time any one of us, reaches a higher level of our own potential, we raise the collective to that level. It's easier for those who may be reaching for the previous rung in their own ladder of evolution to extend their reach beyond what would have been a limit, right? And we want to break ground, and and we're in the spring season, which is all about breaking ground. All the plants are blooming, the birds are singing, they're building nests, they're creating families, the trees are budding, the snow is melting, the little creatures of the earth are crawling on the surface more now, and so it is with us. We are a part of this earth. We have just traversed a period of time on earth where all sacred literature, sacred scripture, and bodies of knowledge on earth point to this time as a time of spiritual upliftment, consciousness on the rise. Mother Earth is rising in awareness. Her vibration is increasing. It always does during this time of the year, but particularly during this age where the Earth is transversing through a specific area within the solar system, within the galaxy with the solar system, that allows for more refined levels of matter to penetrate the earth and our lives, right? Both animate and inanimate. We're all receiving upgrades. We're all downloading more information, right? And so it is a very precious time to be alive. I celebrate all of you for the courage and the brotherhood and sisterhood that we have all summoned within our own lives to show up here today. Because if we were operating in silos, as they would have it, or not they, but as it would possibly have emerged, we would probably be in a great state of fear. But thanks to the courage and resilience of the human spirit, we're all showing up in greater numbers for ourselves first, and then for each other, right? You need to put that mask on first. Without you, there is no other, okay? So we need to take care of self. Self-care has become very important. I encourage each of you to love yourself more every day. I hope to create this. My vision for this channel is that I will be able to share not only information related to the astrology, which I find incredibly important, because there's no need to live in darkness, right? We have so much light in the universe, and we can see these stars shining at us from a distance. And it's only a matter of perception that keeps them away from us. They're actually illuminating our physiology. It can be no other way. We are one with all that is. or we wouldn't be here, right? So the fact that I can speak to you these words and that you can observe this exchange already confirms that we are one, right? So it's a matter, it's just the self-realization of that fact. And that's what we're here to harness. That's what we're here to move towards, the integration of the knowledge that what gives one life gives life to all. And therefore, at that level, we are all one because we are all energized and given life by the same oneness, the ancient one, the ancient and eternal, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent force with all that is, in whom we live, breathe, and have our being. And how exciting to be able to say those words. I'm just beside myself right now. You see the grin. So the moon is moving in through Leo, then following the moon will transit, of course, in sequence, will go through Libra and Virgo, Virgo, then Libra, and then arrive at Scorpio. Scorpio. What can I say about Scorpio that you guys don't know? Scorpio bears a sting, and the sting of Scorpio is, it's out there, right? Like wherever you least expect it, it knows exactly where to move to give you just that dose that'll make you cringe and stop for a minute and consider and feel and integrate. It's a very deep, deep sign. It's a sign that was originally ruled. The ancient ruler is Pluto. Pluto, the death and rebirth. In Scorpio, we literally have the rising phoenix experience, the transmutation that happens within. We're all turned into larvae in Scorpio and reconstructed and brought back bigger and better than ever before. So don't worry. However, this is really happening. We're having a super full moon, super pink full moon in Scorpio, and that'll happen at around 7 degrees with opposition directly on the other side of the axis. What are we going to have? We have Taurus. And what do we have in Taurus? But the Uranian force of awakening, awakening consciousness, the Uranian force of gnosis, the scientist, the freedom fighter, independent, avant-garde, revolution, rebellious, although the rebelliousness does stem from Scorpio as well, and the revolution. So this is huge. This full moon is on. I advise all here to take more time to themselves, right? Take more time in silence. We're at a very dynamic time during the lunar cycle. That bump that we see in the sky in the moon beginning to grow, right? That gestation period that we're all experiencing right now. And with that with that event yesterday, the square of the moon is asking us to take action on the inspirations that we received when the cycle was during its dark phase, right? Like during that new moon, we all received messages. Our subconscious was awakened to a level of perception that is now hidden from us. And this is why it's so important to keep journals and to be self-aware and to be in tune, because when we are, then we value and we're not lost in the sauce out here, like what happened. And there's no need for those questions if you're paying attention to the life processes and what's being awakened in your chart. And if you don't have your chart, see the link in the description, where I'd be more than happy to provide this information for you. Do be in touch. I love your questions. Okay, so right across from Taurus. Now, what is Taurus? Taurus is the sensual, stable earth. Everything that you see around you is that's earth, that's from the earth, right? That's the Taurian directive. The Taurian directive is the stability of the earth, the groundedness, the integration, the life-giving resources, each other. We are the earth, right? So all the earth element in its highest expression, Venus, Venusian energy of attraction is present, magnetism is present, um, beauty, the beauty of the majesty of the earth, Mother Earth herself is present. And in honoring her and honoring the impulse of the Uranian directive, we're the stewards of the earth. We're the earth beings that can set an intention and actually care for her. Uranus is all about humanity. Taurus is all about the earth, and where the humanity inhabits the earth, right? So what can we do? How can we do Uranus innovation, technology? How can we use these instruments to improve our functioning on this planet? All of that is lively at this time. In addition, the sun just ingressed into Taurus, and it did so on the 19th at 4:36 in the afternoon. And with that ingress, brought our awareness, our consciousness to themes related to Taurus. It moved away from the Aryan directive of initiation, the initiation by fire that we all receive, to transform and transmute, initiate, transform and transmute something in our lives. We were all very clearly shown what that was. We had Mercury and Venus. Venus crossed the sun. Venus is still under the rays of the sun to illuminate our transitioning from morning star to evening star, where she's even more receptively inclined to work with us from the level of magnetic attraction and desire. So we're all experiencing events now. We're either having a heartbreak or because something did not work, and it's being removed, it's being burnt in the fires of initiation of the season of spring in Aries, so that the gifts of the earth can make an approach in your life, so that they can reach you. So when we become contracted, thunderous, the Uranian lightning just went off outside my window, and that is just amazing, because how perfect is that? I couldn't have, this is happening. So this directive that we received during the initiation rites of spring, right, in Aries, when awareness awakens to its own process, right? It's the awareness awakening. And with Aries, we have a sign that it's all about me, my process. Where am I going? What am I doing? How am I going to get there? Because Aries wants to initiate the blaze, is a blaze, wants to set the world on fire, right? So that directive has now been activated in our own spirit. And how are you going to bring that forward? That's what we learned during the Taurus season. We learn how to concretize these directives that we received in Aries and bring them down to earth. How are we going to make that happen? How are we going to what is the roadmap? That's an earthian theme, if ever I heard one. What is the roadmap towards the accomplishment of the directive that we receive with the impulse of spring? This is also about this distilling process is happening here, right? Removing the wheat from the chaff, right? That's what we get to do now as we move through this Taurus season. We begin to free ourselves from those people, places, and things that don't work for us. And we know what they are. And sometimes we feel constrained because of commitment and responsibility. If any sign wants to express their sense of responsibility to all is Taurus. So Taurus can be really torn during this time as to which action to take next, particularly because the sun and the sun's will is now with the earth as opposed to the awareness of self, right? So there's that integration process that we're all going through. So let's be easy with ourselves and with each other. Venus is there. Venus is more charming now than, well, will resume her charming self pretty soon. And I sense that some of that is already in the works. We can expect to see the first rays of Venus coming out from behind the sun in the western horizon shortly after sunset. You can expect to see her maybe the 24th, 25th, 26th is when she'll make her first appearance. And if you catch a glimpse, please report back to me and let me know. I am on the eastern coast in Florida, in Miami, and yeah, so I'll be looking, although I'm on the eastern coast, I'll be looking west, as we all should, shortly after sunset to catch a glimpse. It is the ancient civilizations would say that it was very auspicious to actually view the rays of each of the stars as they appear in the night sky, because it is through sight that we are able to enliven its energy within our own physical structure, within our own consciousness, within our own awareness, right? The eyes are the physical structure through which are expressing intelligence, and everything is intelligent. We live in an intelligent universe. Everything is alive, everything is vibrating. So we want to be able to capture that energy within our own physiology, because it is through the body that our consciousness, the individual consciousness, is being informed. So it's very precious time to be able to see that. Mercury is still under the rays of the sun, just conjunct yesterday. Combust, which many astrologers will say many things that are negative about that process, because they say that the energies are restrained. But actually, this is yoga. This is true yoga. You know, this is the union of the intellect with the vivifying rays of the sun in our will. And there is a blessing there. Okay. And we look, these correspondences are to be analyzed in light of their placement in our natal chart, right? Very important. Okay. You're not a Taurus. You have a sun in Taurus. If that, or you might have the moon in Taurus, or you may have the sun and the moon in Taurus if you were born at a new moon. And if you were born at a new moon, it is possible even that you may have had it rising in your chart, in which case is the sun, moon, and ascendant. So there you have a preponderance of facts that would bring a Taurian theme into your life with more emphasis, with more significance. However, not everyone does. And so it's important to have the natal chart so that you know where these themes are, for example, a Taurus in the second house is different from a Taurus in the fifth house, is different from a Taurus in the 10th house. You see, the houses will tell you the lens through which the power and the energy is being expressed in your own life. And that's why it's so important to have. But right now, so this alignment is coming up, this full moon, the pink full moon, and it will activate the Venus, Uranus, change maker, change a minute. Things are going to change this quickly. It could also point to seismic activity. Uranus is lightning like movement, it's change. And there's going to be a square to the full moon coming from other air sign, coming from the air sign of Aquarius, and the planet, which is going to be squaring a T-square, meaning it'll be in a challenging conversation with the full moon and the transformation process that is being asked of us in Scorpio, at the core of our being, at the core of the shadow, which if is not integrated, you will project out into the world, and that would be a disservice to everyone. So we need to step up to the plate and see ourselves for who we really are. It's not we're all beings, you know, there's the yin and the yang, is the darkness and the light. And the way that we integrate that is not by negating the darkness and by rejecting it, but by bringing it into the light and absorbing it in our being. That's the highest that we can do for each other and for ourselves. Otherwise, we will forever go through life without giving ourselves a true opportunity to heal inside. You know, we have to integrate the shadow. So this is the opportunity being brought, and it's a tough lesson because we have Saturn, the taskmaster boundary, and it's not that Saturn is a force outside of you that's going to make things happen to you. That's not what I'm saying at all. Saturn and every planet in our solar system and every constellation for that matter, it's a matter of your will. How do you integrate the process? How are you present for the exchange, right? Are you even aware that you're living that you're a multidimensional being living in an intergalactic universe with parallel universes all informing the process at once? Is that something that you can fathom? And those people who cannot, and we know who they are, they're not ready for the integration. And so if we're aware of that, then we are aware of the different levels of consciousness that are inhabiting the planet at this time. And we know where to have what conversation and with whom and how we want to live our lives. And then we begin to set some direction for ourselves so that we're not constantly caught up in the minutia of victimhood and martyrdom and all those things that make us feel that we're less than the I am that I am, right? That's what we're here to own and fully live and embody, is that I am. I am the entire universe, and therefore it all happens for me, not to me. Very important lesson. So, and then that T-square is also at a challenging angle. It's a 90-degree angle. That means nothing to many people, but what that means is that the frequencies of energy are not flowing easily, right? They're static, and it's a 90 degrees. So there's some contortions that need to happen, but that's how we grow. So it's not a bad thing. It's actually monumental and amazing that we're having this opportunity. Although when we're not aware and awake, it catches us unsuspecting, and we get caught in the undertow, and we get ripped a little more deeply inside, and then we need to, engage that healing process. Be aware. That's the option that we all, the choice is always ours, how we're going to experience these changes that are coming up. So this square is happening with Uranus and with Venus and with Mercury. Okay, so what do these planets represent within the neurobiology, within our physical structure? So Venus rules our desires, our sense of aesthetic, our sense of beauty, our sense of fairness. It rules Taurus, so she's very well placed, and probably experiencing right now, I will take no prisoners. I'm not doing it. Whatever's coming is coming willingly because I'm attracting it into my life, because I am the magnetic life force energy. I am the supreme electromagnetic queen, and things will gravitate towards me because I am that, right? And then we have Mercury there. And what is Mercury saying? Well, Mercury's on fire. The intellect, Mercury is moving so fast, will transverse this sign in a matter of weeks. Sometimes Mercury can stay in a sign up to months, but not this time. Think 2 weeks the most, done with Taurus. So moving rather quickly, messages everywhere, messages coming in. Everyone is your messenger. The fact that the thunder went off when I said what I said, I'm going to listen when I listen to this video exactly at what point it happened, because that is a sign. Everything is a sign. We live in a magical world. Synchronicities are always taking place. You just don't see them because you're not present. You need to be present to appreciate them. There are messages everywhere. Everyone is a messenger. Everything is a vibration. It's funny because we often hear that Tesla says that, all is frequency, all is vibration, and everyone's like, whoa, all is frequency, all is vibration. But then you tell someone that they're a frequency and that they're a vibration, that the color of their shirt is a frequency and it's a vibration, that the sound can be transmitted via color, and people look at you like, what are you talking about? That's taking it a step too far. But we're saying the same thing. So it's a matter of expanding our awareness to be able to appreciate these details. And that's the opportunity that we have now. This is Uranus. Uranus will open up your understanding in a heartbeat, in a flash, and suddenly you're there. It's called gnosis, when you drop into the intuition like that. In order to set that up for yourself, then that's where the self-care processes come in. That's where the chanting comes in. That's where the meditation comes in. That's where exercise, connecting intentionally with nature, cleaning up the diet, right? Drinking a lot of pure water, turning off the tube so that, not being so available to people, places, and things, because you have to heal your inner body. Without your inner body, there are no other people, places, and things that you will ever enjoy. So it is of utmost importance to take care of this vehicle first, right? I already said that. On the 24th, it's only 3 days away, we're having a conjunction of Mercury and Uranus. This is your genius moment. Mark that on your calendar. That should be highlighted. My heart is a place of prayer. I'm just saying where I am. My heart is a place of prayer. My home is my sanctuary. My body is my temple. And that's just the way it is right now. These days, these are days. 10,000 maniacs. I don't know who's old enough on this call to know who that is. Natalie. I forget her last name right now. I'll look that up and I'll leave that in. I'm going to leave that video in the description just for you, because it's such a beautiful song. These are days you'll remember. Never before and never again, I promise. Oh, it's just such a beautiful song. And so we're still in Ramadan, Easter, we're still in Easter, the Easter season, the season of rebirth. Take advantage of that. Reinvent yourself. If ever you have the power to come out on the other side of this, sparkling new. That's the power that Uranus energy brings into our lives right now. The opportunity to innovate, reinvent our resources. And you are your most valuable resource. Without you, there are no resources to be enjoyed. What is your self-worth? I've been contemplating that myself. So when I say these things, I'm not saying them because I'm putting anybody else on check. This is my own self-exploration that I'm sharing here. These are the fruits of my own heart. These are the fruits of my own inner journey, my own vision quest within. You know, you can go on a vision quest anywhere on earth, and wherever you go, there you are, until we begin to turn our attention to the inner life. What beats your heart? What's running through your veins? How are you feeding your life? What are you surrounded by? All of it is food. All of it, all of it is information. You're feeding yourself constantly. Breaking patterns is important. Not so easy during Taurus, because Taurus is very stable and it's a bit stubborn, doesn't want to move. But your greatest is on the other side of that comfort zone. So I highly encourage you to make some moves and shake it up, because seismic activity is I'm not predicting. However, the astrological omens, if I read them correctly, point to a big shakeup on Earth. So do prepare for that as well. And at 8:31, 3, at 5, the 26th, 27th will be our new moon. Here on the East Coast, I would expect that it's going to happen on the 26th, and it depends where everybody else is. Um, don't resist, move with ease through this period, feed the mind. Uranus loves that. Establish routine. Taurus loves that. Write poetry, write journals, write, express yourself, whichever art form is of your choosing. This is a good time to engage. We have access through that full moon to a subconscious process present in Scorpio that would be very informative to you if you engage your senses in the direction. And engaging the senses very big right now with so much activity happening in Taurus, right? Everyone should everyone should have a piece of chocolate during these days. I mean, come on, please have some chocolate, and or feed Venus something sweet. She'll love you for it. And engage the beautiful and the refined and the aesthetic and the pleasing sound, the pleasing sight, the painting, the art, the poetry, the literature, all of that. So soothing and so delicious. Find the comfort within your own body and your own home, and spend some time on that spot. And home is wherever you are. And remember, wherever you are, God is also there. That is a huge message this season that I received. And I'm happy to share with you that you are that. And it's all coming to head right now. Mars is in Gemini, out of bounds. With Mars in Gemini, we're more likely to speak without thinking and say hurtful things, or things that we don't really consider. And there's always a sensitive level of the heart, right? So we want to speak the sweet truth during this time, as my teacher would say. One of my teachers, Maharshi Mahesh Yogi, would say, speak the sweet truth. Speak the truth nonetheless, because Taurus will take no prisoners. And it's done. It's done. It's done. Or Uranus wouldn't be there. And Uranus is square to Saturn, and Saturn, the taskmaster, tough love, is just like, no, that's it. I'm done. The boundaries. How else to make it through? We cannot be a permeable cloth to everything that surrounds us, right? At some point, we have to set some, only in the interest of maintaining a sense of balance, because that's the only way we can be there for others. So if you're running around overextending yourself, then you're not taking care of yourself. And if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody. That's just what it is. Speak, speak quietly. Jupiter is going to be in a nice relationship with the Mars. So expanding, but it could be expansion of the brute force of the word. And remember, Taurus owns Taurus is the second house in the zodiacal wheel, in the seasonal tropical zodiac, right? The second house is Taurus. Taurus rules the throat, right? So we're talking here about Vishuddha, the throat chakra, and manifesting the things that we say rather easily. So if we're speaking ill, if we're speaking of ill with ill will, that's going to come back to you. So staying in a place of love, despite the madness that's going around you. You see it, you take the action that you need to take. You balance the sheep for yourself. And my heart is a place of prayer. And my heart is a place of prayer. Silence within. That is my highest recommendation between now and the closing of the cycle, which will be later next month. We're having an eclipse. I'll be back with more. I'm just so happy to be back and speaking to you guys. My hashtags on Instagram, if you want to follow me, I am Soma _ nectar of the gods. And my hashtags are I am Soma 144 and La Musa Astral. And for Spanish speakers, I'll be recording in Spanish as well. And I am Soma.com is my website. All those links will be in the description box. I'm so honored to be here in your presence. Thank you so much. All love to you with all my heart. Take good care of yourselves and each other. Awesome. Thank you.